What if gravity stopped working for 5 seconds? This question comes from literally every single curious human at some point in their life. And honestly, it's a great one. Let's say, for the sake of scientific absurdity, that gravity, Earth's gravity specifically, just stops. Not slows down, not gets weaker, completely turns off. Like a giant cosmic light switch that someone flips off for exactly 5 seconds. Then everything snaps back to normal as if nothing happened. Easy, right? No, it would be very much not easy. First of all, gravity is what's holding you, your dog, your sandwich, and your entire house onto the earth. If it suddenly stops working, everything not nailed down, and quite a few things that are nailed down, will immediately start moving upward. Not because there's some new force pushing things up, but because without gravity, inertia takes over. In other words, your body was already in motion along with the spinning earth, and now there's nothing keeping you on the ride. You might think, 5 seconds? That's not much. I've blinked for longer. But 5 seconds is enough time to create one of the most chaotic, confusing, and surprisingly floaty experiences humanity has ever had. Let's break it down. When gravity disappears, you and everything around you becomes weightless, like astronauts on the International Space Station. But there's one key difference. Astronauts are trained for this. You are not. You were probably scrolling through your phone or eating chips. Cars lose traction instantly. Every vehicle not bolted to the ground, and even some that are, begins to rise. Planes, ironically, fall apart. Why? Because gravity is part of what keeps the air dense and layered. Remove gravity, and the atmosphere itself starts to float, expanding upward and thinning out rapidly. Air molecules don't just hang around politely, they drift. Fast. But don't worry, you won't suffocate. Not right away. In the first second, people all over the world start to rise. Buildings creaked. Anything hanging, chandeliers, traffic lights, cats on bookshelves, begins to drift toward the ceiling. Birds, suddenly confused and offended, lose control. Trains lift off rails like they're in a Pixar movie with a very dark ending. Meanwhile, in homes everywhere, coffee hovers delicately above mugs. Toast, unfortunately, flips jam side up. In the second, things get more mobile. People outside start to float into the air. Kids on playgrounds begin their slow ascent to becoming accidental astronauts. Laptops, books, and bagels drift out of windows. Some people, the unlucky ones on trampolines, achieve surprising velocity. The ISS astronauts, watching Earth, have about 5 seconds to say, "What the hell?" At 3 seconds, Earth's rotation begins to reveal its sinister side. Normally, gravity keeps you glued to the planet while it spins at about 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. With gravity gone, you're no longer attached to that rotation. You keep moving in a straight line. In effect, the planet starts to rotate out from under you. If you're near the equator, you're launched sideways at roughly the speed of sound. This will not end well for your backyard fence or your spine. At 4 seconds, the atmosphere is still expanding. Some of the higher objects, drones, tall buildings, poorly tethered lawn furniture, start to drift toward the edge of breathable air. Meanwhile, oceans, lakes, and swimming pools are trying their best to escape. Water, no longer held down, bulges upward like it's being sucked toward space. If you're in the shower, congratulations. You've just discovered reverse rain. And finally, at 5 seconds, gravity snaps back. This is where things get crunchy. Everything that's been floating, flying, drifting, or otherwise ignoring the laws of physics suddenly crashes down. People who were just a few feet off the ground, sore ankles. Maybe a bruise or two. People who drifted 10 meters into the air, broken bones. People who floated higher than that, they come back fast. Remember, gravity isn't polite. It doesn't catch you gently. It grabs you by the face and pulls you straight down at 9.8 meters per second squared. Planes, if they hadn't completely disassembled by now, drop out of the sky. Birds hit the ground in stunned confusion. Oceans splash back into their basins, causing mini tsunamis in every direction. Trees lose branches, skyscrapers tremble. Satellites that began to shift slightly during the gravity outage correct their orbits awkwardly. Some might re-enter Earth's atmosphere, which is a polite way of saying, burn up spectacularly. But here's the weird part. After about 30 seconds of panic, the world would seem kind of normal, except for the debris and the injuries and the millions of viral videos titled, "What just happened?" Phones would be blowing up. People would be trending mid-air selfies. News anchors would interview floating cows. Conspiracy theorists would scream, "Aliens!" while physicists quietly updated every textbook in existence. And then the questions would begin. Was it a glitch in the laws of physics? Did we get a cosmic warning? Will it happen again? Of course, in the end, life would go on. Humans are remarkably good at pretending nothing happened. There would be memes, there would be t-shirts, there would definitely be a Netflix series. But the next time someone asked, "Hey, what if gravity stopped working for 5 seconds?" The answer would be simple. We don't talk about that day.